One of the things that's really important to me, oh, birds. It's funny that you say white privilege referencing like Friday Night Lights or Nashville, because of course that was not the conversation. But in White Lotus, I looked at that very differently, because of course that's a social satire and the entire context of that show is white privilege. Because of what's happening in the world, I was already looking at my white privilege in a very different way. Then the work on White Lotus really became an exploration of that. I'm a white woman, therefore I always play white privileged women, but I do think that the context is different in the different performances. One of the things that's really important to me when I choose roles is to do something that feels like it's going to have a place in the cultural conversation. And the cultural conversation is always changing. When I did Friday Night Lights, that to me was an opportunity to discover how women find their voice in a very male-dominated world. You know, it was funny with White Lotus because there's nothing I love more than social satire. But afterwards, I felt like I had sort of become the face of like female white privilege. And so having to separate myself from that, which I'm usually have a pretty easy time doing because White Lotus had such a immediate like mass response. It was a lot of like, ah, it's not me, I swear, you know? Once I read it and I have my own experiences of who this character is, I then let go of any kind of judgment and I just try to find the connecting points of what her experience is that I actually can relate to, that I feel might be even universal to most women. You know, some of the things Nicole says are just, okay, Nicole. But you know what? That's not my job. My job is not to judge her. My job is not to have my own perspective on that. My job is to understand why she said the thing that she said and where that's coming from. You know, and beyond that, like, I do think that we get glimpses into how Nicole gained her success and what she had to do. A lot of that is very relatable to women who have tried to have success, and also to what it is to become a successful woman and realize that it still kind of feels like shit. That, you know, against all odds, and I created all this stuff, but my children hate me and my husband hates me and they all have contempt for me and I feel completely isolated and like a failure on so many levels. But I always try to find the universality when I'm playing it so that they become very human as opposed to just the objects of our judgment. You know, I grew up in a very small town in Virginia in the United States, so I've always wanted to look outward. So I think I look at all of these things, the roles that I play, the way that I'm a mother, I think all of these are ways in which I can try to have a bigger perspective and hopefully impart that to my son too.